You want to know something she said about you?
What did she say? Wait, she saw it.
Yeah. Because she doesn't know how to work YouTube.
Oh, really?
So she only sees, and I was like, well, you know who that is, right? And she's like, I've seen him before. And I was like, what? It's just like, it's the hair, but I'm not too sure. I was like, who do you think it is? And she's like, oh, I honestly I've seen the face, I just can't remember. And I was like, oh, it's Suda. And she was like, Suda. Oh, Suda. She's like, oh, Masashi.
She still has a grudge on me. Okay, welcome to DaDen. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Masashi, and I am always here with...
The good-looking one, the Den.
About that, but...
The Den and the Den. Jay, what's up, everyone? Lovely to see you all again, and here we are again.
In DaDen.
In DaDen with Da, Suda, and then me. It's going to be a good one today. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, is it?
Yes, but before we start, I wanna, get us warmed up.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna be a good topic today, good interesting topic today. Before we start, I wanna drop some quick fire questions on you. 5 quick fire questions on you.
5 questions.
5 quick fire questions, and I want you to answer as quick as you can. Don't think about it. Just whatever comes to your mind. They're not hard. Well, maybe one of them is, but
Okay.
these are quick fire questions. Something to warm our brain up. Something to get to know you a little bit more better,
But should I be worried?
Oh, hey, it's up to you and your answers.
Okay.
But real simple.
All right.
Quick fire questions.
Shoot.
Okay. Number 1, start off easy. If you were to star in a movie, what movie star would be you?
What movie star would be me?
Yes. Who would play you?
Who would play me?
Yes.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Ooh, why?
I love that guy.
Why Keanu Reeves?
I love that guy.
Okay, good. Karaoke song. Favorite karaoke song?
Eminem.
Eminem, which one?
Curtain Call.
Curtain Call. Can you give us a little? Come on now. Don't be shy. Let's go.
Have you ever loved someone so much you given on for? Not the expression. No, literally given on for.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
I memorized that whole song from
Man, think Eminem, think Suda. Once he starts rapping, it just doesn't fit, but it fits.
Yeah.
See, you just see this face, and then you see a rapper. It doesn't work, but it works. That's another good one. Okay, number 2. Number 3, guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Video game.
Video games. How often do you play video games?
I play once a month now.
Oh, once a month? That's not much of a guilty pleasure.
Well, now I play like twice a day.
Twice a day?
Yeah.
What's your go-to video game?
Pokemon.
Pokemon?
The Scarlet and Violet. Scarlet version.
Oh, man, I've never played Pokemon before.
Pokemon.
I've only the
Nintendo
Pokego.
Switch. Pokemon Go now.
Nintendo Switch. I played Nintendo Switch for the first time at my summer camp last week.
Oh, really?
Yes, we were playing
Mario
some
Kart?
fighting game.
Oh,
Trying to bash them off the stage.
Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting. Number 4, useful Japanese slang.
Slang?
One word. Useful Japanese slang.
Damare.
And what does that translate to?
Shut up.
Shut
Shut the up.
Yes. Not recommended, but hey, that's one of his useful Japanese
It's very
slang.
useful, actually.
All right, last one. This is going to be a tough one. One thing we don't know about you.
One thing you don't know about me?
Well, one thing that you think the viewers would not know about you.
Oh, that's a lot of things, though.
Apart from you can sing Eminem rap songs.
I used to date. That's a deep thing. That's the person that commented again on my mind.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Wasn't this supposed to be like a...
Woo! Wow, we really got thinking. We got our minds thinking very deep today, haven't we? So yeah, thank you for that. That was...
Wow, should I cut that part?
No, this is raw. This is what we want. Raw insight. Private, personal. And yep, that was it. I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea, but hey, it was an idea. So thank you for that. Thank you for getting involved in my quickfire questions for you today. That was just to get our brain stimulated, and
That thing
right now
got
they're
my brain stimulated, not yours.
no, it's got me stimulated with that last one.
But yes, I have been. It's nothing to hide for me. Like
Yeah.
that's my past. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
part
good.
of it. Yeah.
So thank you for answering those questions very quickly and really fiery.
I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, no, obviously not. That's good. That's all. That's what we love about you. All open, and that's what DaDen is about. Giving good personal insights, private thoughts, and give you that raw insight into Japan culture and ourselves.
That has nothing to do with Japanese culture.
Obviously not, but I'm just trying to bring it back to DaDen.
All right. So today, what are we going to talk about, Jayden?
Culture.
Culture. Japanese culture.
Japanese culture. Very wide topic.
It is a wide topic.
We'll
Yes.
try to give some insight into some parts of the Japanese culture.
Okay. So, when you came to Japan for the first time, I'm sure there were a lot of difference from New Zealand's culture to Japanese culture. What was the first difference you found out?
Well, the first one was weather.
Oh, is it that different?
Yes. Well, I came. So New Zealand and Japan, their seasons are the opposite.
Oh yeah.
So when I left New Zealand, it was summer. When I arrived in Japan, it was like midwinter. So I had shorts and jandals on and like a thin hoodie.
No one told you that it's gonna be cold?
No one. That's another good thing. No one told me.
Isn't that's your first time coming here to Japan with
Yes, it was
as a
the first time.
student, right?
It was winter, and it was freezing. And oh my gosh, I think it was like mid-January, which is quite a cold time of the year. And it was honestly freezing. I think like they had a snowing here 2 or 3 days before because it was still piled up on the streets. And when it snows in like the Tokyo area, it gets real cold. And it's obvious because it really snows to the point where snow builds up, and it was built up in that area and it was freezing.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first thing, was the weather. We jumped in the car, drove through the city. We were staying in Setagaya area, which is quite central Tokyo. And they drove us through like Shibuya. Oh, there was so many people. So many people, bright lights, massive buildings. That's when I realized like I'm in Japan. Because New Zealand, quite a country style country. Where I live, I don't live in the country, but I don't live in the city area. But I wasn't used to seeing so many high-rise towers, so many massive buildings. And then when you look at those buildings, there's like billboards with like lights or LED lights or moving billboards and stuff like that. New Zealand, it was just like a billboard with a picture. These ones had like people moving. And I was like, whoa, Japan. At that time, I thought Japan was just so advanced. You get like the image and you hear stuff about Japan being like real techno style country. But once you get here and you're immersed in it, you kind of really, well, at first anyway, you really do realize how techno crazy this country is.
Okay. That's interesting. Did you get any like culture shock in a way? Like something that shocked you the most? Besides like coming here, like the season the opposite, and you saw all the like neon lights and stuff. What were like some like during your stay in Japan when you first came by? What was the shocking thing that you found out about Japan?
Oh, good question. There was a lot. There was a lot.
What was the very first thing that came up to your mind then?
The bidet.
What?
The bidet.
Bidet?
The toilet.
Oh, which one? Like, what do you mean the toilet?
You know, the toilet has a little squirter.
Oh yeah.
The washlet.
The washlet.
Is it a washlet?
Yeah, washlet.
The bidet.
Oh, you call it bidet?
I don't know. I thought that's the technical name. Is it called a bidet?
Bidet.
I'm pretty sure it's called a bidet. I'm not the dumb one in the situation. I know it's called a bidet.
Okay.
The little squirter,
Yeah.
the washlet. I think that was a crazy culture shock for me.
Oh.
Well, the toilet in general.
How advanced it was?
Yeah, you sit down, it warms your bum up.
Oh, that's
You're like,
true.
whoa, but this is nice. You turn to your right, you got like a whole panel of buttons. Temperature, music, and then You can wash your bum while you're there.
Yeah, you could wash your you could wash your bum after your business.
Yes, yes.
Some places you could, when you sit down, the music starts automatically.
Yeah. Like it plays like a flushing sound already. So
Or like natural sound, like
yeah,
birds flying on the forest or something like that.
sitting on the toilet and you're in a forest. But I thought that was like a massive shock to me. Like that was one thing that I thought was just like, whoa, that is crazy. I don't know. At first I didn't like it. Now I'm used to it. Now I can't live without it.
Oh, you didn't like it at first?
No, I was like, I've never seen anything like that. I've heard of it, but never tried it until I came here. And I was like, oh, nah. It's a bit weird. Little squirter on the bum. Feels a bit weird, especially for males and females. But that was something I was like, whoa, what the hell is this? But I had heard of it before I came over.
Oh, really?
Like they have that, or they have the hole in the ground. We don't really see that anymore, but I have heard of that. And
oh, you mean the Japanese style toilet?
yeah, the washki, the little hole in the ground.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, no, I've only done it once, and that was desperate times. Called for desperate.
That's the same for me. Yeah, only one time in my life.
Apparently, it's healthier.
Oh yeah, apparently
Better for you to do that.
I think the position, how you position yourself, it's actually gets your metabolism going a little bit more.
All right, quick question. This is another quick fire question.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Hey. Quick fire question. When you squat on the washki, do you fully take your pants off, or do you just half leave it on?
Half leave it on.
Oh, okay.
You took it fully off?
I thought that's the only way. Because don't they have like a little hook on the wall?
Oh, that's to put your bags.
Bags. Oh, okay, now I get it. Well, I didn't have a bag, so I just put my pants there. I guarantee you ask all foreigners these questions that lived here and have to do it. I promise you. I know my mates, my New Zealand mates.
Have you asked them before?
Yeah, we always ask each other, like, you take your pants fully off, don't you? That's the only way.
Oh, really?
Well, what we thought anyway.
No, it's halfway.
That's too dangerous. You can't really aim squatting like that, so be more safe than sorry.
I guess, yeah.
Yes, but yes, that was another shock. The toilet, language differences. How at that time English was so limited.
Oh yeah.
So we were trying to communicate as best as we could, but when I first came over here, English is gradually growing, but at that time English wasn't very strong. Wasn't a very foreign accepting country, or probably a lot worse way before my time, but it was still quite Japanese dominated. Like not many English speakers, even within our team. We had like a couple people, but the language barrier was another big culture shock.
You would expect Japan to be more much more like advanced in the language in a way, if they're gonna accept like foreign exchange students. But really, like, it's not during your time, especially. It wasn't as like far in as it is now. So right now, everything is written in English at least.
Yeah, right now, especially since the Olympics, it has definitely become a more foreign accepting, English-friendly country. But it was at that time, it was just like no one could speak English, even when you go to like the shops and stuff like that. And then they even look at you funny, like, oh, this guy can't speak Japanese. This isn't my fault. Well, it is kind of my fault because I am in Japan, but just the language barrier and the communication barrier was quite tough. Especially as soon as we got here, we're trying to figure out where's the shower, where's towels, like where do we sleep, what time do we have to wake up, just stuff like that was quite a tough barrier to get around. That was when we definitely realized that we're in Japan now. So we had to really make the effort to speak Japanese because that was the only way to communicate.
I'm surprised because you came once, then you came back again.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that regardless of what you experienced, you still came back to Japan.
I think the first time was more of like a foreign exchange with a high school. And I think that because it was just a foreign exchange program for a limited time. It's like it's from day one to day you leave. It's like a set program.
Because they take care of you.
Yeah, they take care of you. Everything's like scheduled, planned. The program is made for you to love Japanese culture, get involved in Japanese culture. So that was, I loved it at that when, like, that was the Japan that I thought of. Everyone was just could speak English. Everyone was really friendly, and well, not that they're not friendly now, but it was just like a program dedicated for us. During that period, we came over, we had to kind of figure out, well, we were older, but still we had to figure out a lot on our own.
I see. So that's why you were not kind of forced in a way to speak the language. So, but now you came back and then you have to know the language, right? So I guess that's why.
Because we had to be a lot more independent. So, and we had to adjust to everything. Like everything came at us full on. Like jump in a car, we're straight to the dorms. Driving through the city. Like it was just like, nothing was eased in. It was just like, this is where you're staying. This is the closest station. This is where you got to be at this time. We were older, but still it was quite tough.
I see. What about I don't know how strict is trash rules in New Zealand?
It is quite strict, but not as strict as Japan is. But another thing I find interesting is like, although Japan's very strict with their trash rules, there's not many rubbish bins around.
Oh, that's true.
Compared to New Zealand, like there's rubbish bins everywhere. On the street, in the corner, in the shops. Just laid out on the streets, like rubbish bins on the street. They're everywhere. Japan, you can't really find any.
I mean, I guess, but when you go to Shinjuku and stuff late at night, there's quite a lot, I think, in my image.
Trash bins?
Trash bins, no, but like trash.
Oh,
stuff.
laid around?
Yeah, laid around.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But also New Zealand has more like trash bins everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, you could
there's places for you to throw your trash away. Sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
Compared to Japan, there
Japan
isn't
is
many.
Yeah.
You gotta hold on to that rubbish for as long as you can.
Yeah, that's true. Japan, it's rare to see one. Like whenever you see one, they're like, oh, finally I found the trash.
Yeah.
So I could finally trash this away.
And even like some places, they're quite strict with their.
Yeah.
If you don't buy from here, you can't throw it away here. Convenience stores, some of them like that. And even if you do, you gotta separate it into the cans, the glass, paper, plastic, which is a good thing, but very strict on there.
I'm a bit guilty of that actually because I trash it regardless of I'm buying it or not.
Me too. Me too. Time consuming.
I always walk in, I trash it, and then pretend I shop, and then I walk out.
Naughty. Yeah, trash. But New Zealand, I think New Zealand's quite a tidy city. I think because they do have those trash cans everywhere. Japan, well, like, yeah, Shinjuku late at night, Shibuya late at night is quite dirty, but I think in general they are quite clean.
In a way, yeah. But
well, some areas are anyway.
Yeah, when you go into like the downtown, I wouldn't say downtown, but like kind of downtown area, it kind of gets like a bit out of hand.
I think it's just because there's just a lot more people and those dense. They're in like small areas, just like dense areas. So, and with there not being many rubbish bins to throw it around, and you got young people drinking out on the streets, just become a bit reckless and just throw it away.
Yeah, especially during like now it's close to October, so the Halloween season's coming up.
Oh yes, I remember I experienced my first Halloween
in Japan.
Once, first time and last time.
Have you ever participated in it?
I didn't participate in it, but I went.
Oh, you did?
To Shibuya area on a Halloween night.
That's the most.
Well, yeah, I heard about it, and we were staying in the area, and I kind of knew I was gonna get stuck, but we were close enough to bike home.
Oh, okay.
Oof, that place is just crazy on a Halloween night.
Yes.
Tokyo, I'm sure if you've seen the videos, but Tokyo Halloween well, Japan Halloween in general, especially in Osaka or Tokyo, Shibuya area. Wow, it is crazy. It's just so many
Packed,
people.
Yeah.
Like, it's already a lot of people in general,
Yeah.
but a lot of people travel from afar or travel from different areas to compact in this one area.
God,
Excuse
the
me.
Coke.
The Coca-Cola is a bad choice, but it's still nice. But it's a crazy city.
Yes, it is.
Have you been there before?
Actually, I have never been once.
Oh, you haven't?
Not every like I've been in here in Japan for a long time, but I always avoid those seasons.
Are you a Halloween person?
I am, but not in Japan. Because Japan's different. Japan's Halloween's different from the States. In the States, you walk to door to get your treats.
Trick or treat.
Yeah, trick or treating. But in Japan, it's more for adults in a way, like teenagers, not teenagers, but like from university students, from adult to adults. A lot of people go there, drink, party, and then like be a hooligan for a night. So it's different.
Well, because Japan's really influenced by like the cosplay,
Yeah.
anime, really influenced by that culture. And Halloween is like another day.
Yeah, like
for
everyone
people to bring it out, to
another
dress up.
excuse,
Yeah.
to dress up.
So that place is real crazy.
Yeah, during that time, the amount of police that's there, it's crazy.
You go there, don't expect to be going home that night
No.
because the train station
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
No taxi will pick up.
No
you.
taxi
Yeah.
will come. No one will go near that area because you won't be getting out.
Yeah,
But yeah, Halloween is definitely a crazy night to
yeah, like
spend.
the Halloween culture in Japan is so different.
Yes.
Very different from it.
What about the anime and cosplay culture? Are you're big into your anime?
Do I look like that?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I like anime, yeah, of course. I mean, and what's not to love about anime?
I've never really watched it. Not that I don't like it, but what is the anime culture like here? Because
Here?
I assume a lot of travelers that come here are quite influenced by the anime
Yes,
culture.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, Akihabara is like the main heart of the anime culture. Like, if you go there, there's a lot of like what we call otaku, people who are very into anime in Japan. They are maid cafe in Akihabara. I've never been to one actually.
What's a maid cafe?
Maid cafes are those girls who dress up in a maid costume, and then they serve you food.
Oh.
It's like a morning version of Kabakura.
Oh.
You
been?
No, I told you I've never been. I've seen it.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. My brother's been there, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, you have a brother.
I do have a brother.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, another thing. That should have been my 5 questions.
Oh, yeah. Man, learning something every day, don't you?
But yes, I've never been. But you see a lot of maid girls on the maid suit.
Yep.
Coming up to you saying like, "Oh, come to our store. This is where our store is." And so that's during the day, basically. So you see a lot of that, and then you see a bunch of like figure stores in Akihabara as well. So
yeah,
Akihabara was the main anime area in Japan. So I think it's huge here.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times just because I've heard of that culture there, and it's also like a lot of electronic stuff you want to buy, and real for shopping foreign friendly because if you take your passport, everything gets tax free.
Yeah, duty free.
Duty free here. So yeah, I think when I took a friend that was visiting, he was wanting to buy some type of game console or something like that, and it was cheaper to get it from there. And then once he gave his passport, it was tax free. So it was good to go shopping there for him.
Yeah, like it's very foreign friendly. A lot of foreigners are there.
Yeah.
They go there to buy things as a present, stuff like that. But like another thing huge about anime culture is like, there is a place called Tokyo Big Sight. Once every year, they have a Comic-Con kind of like event. It's like an anime event, and then everyone like dresses up in so like if you go to the Ariake area, the Fuji TV area, Odaiba and stuff, it's like so many people in costumes are there during that time. So
You've been before?
I've never been to the expo, but I walk around Odaiba, and I've seen those people. So Odaiba is actually like there are stores that's like good, like strong in anime as well. Like Gundam is another example.
Gundam. Oh yes, the
Yeah.
big robot.
Yeah,
Some way to put it.
it is like a big robot.
Big
yeah.
massive robot. It's pretty cool though, because it's like
Yeah.
huge. It's like just right there in front of the mall.
Yeah, that's a small. That's a right now it's a small version, but there's a bigger version, and I think it was in Yokohama, somewhere in Kanagawa area.
Does it like move too?
Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've never been to it, but
Yeah,
I've
I've never
seen
been to
videos
it.
of it.
Yeah, I was trying to go a couple of times, but I never got the chance because I got a little busy. But yeah, I definitely want to go there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, it's cool. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's like just simple, like I said before, a big robot.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to see the moving one.
Yeah.
Because the one standing there is quite cool. And if it's bigger than that, because that is huge.
It's an actual. I think it's the actual size of the like what the image of Gundam to be. So it's pretty big.
Must be, because that one is huge.
Yeah. The one in the Odaiba is not like it's huge, but it's like not like, oh my god, that thing could probably destroy a city or something. No, it's not that big, but the one in Kanagawa is like huge. So
Oh yeah, definitely you'll have to visit that. There's a lot of content shoot right there. You and Gundam.
me and Gundam, that is not an interesting content.
Hey, it's interesting, hey guys. I know you guys want to see it. Do you want to see it? Comment it. We want to see you and Gundam. Suda and Gundam.
If I see that comment, I have to go.
Yes. He has to go. He'll go and do it. He'll jump on it. He'll climb it. He'll climb. Who wants to see him climb it
I'm gonna die.
and get arrested?
I'll probably get
You
arrested.
get arrested before you die. Don't worry. You'll be safe.
That's probably true. But yeah, that's how big like anime cultures are huge in Japan.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people who loves anime comes to Japan to buy the figures. The figures are much more cheaper in Japan as well. So and you could buy one and sell it in other countries for like a huge amount of price as well.
Is it quite cheap to buy anime stuff here?
Pretty cheap. Like the figures, like the cheapest figure you could get for like good quality is like $50, 5,000 yen. So like even if that's really cheap one, like it's not that big size, but like, if you want like a little decent size, it gets like up to like $100 to like $500 in a way. But still, it's not that expensive.
Wow, there's another business opportunity right there.
Yeah, a lot of people, like a lot of foreigners come to Japan to buy it and then like sell it on eBay and stuff like that. So I've heard of those.
Is there any like anime museums around here or anime interaction activities you can do around here?
Around here would be probably like Ikebukuro. Like,
What can you do there?
have you been to Sunshine City? There's a place called Sunshine City in Ikebukuro. There's a Jump museum, Shonen Jump, like from One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto.
Oh, yep, yeah.
Those there's a attraction there for that.
Oh wow.
So I've been there. It's very good. It's like it's in the building, but doesn't seem small at all. It's a pretty decent size.
Oh wow. Another travel destination for everyone that's traveling over here that's into anime.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sunshine City,
Akihabara and Sunshine City.
Ikebukuro, definitely
Ikebukuro.
a good place.
What's the difference of American culture and Japanese culture there?
There are a lot of difference. Like compared to America, Japanese people are very like they don't speak out. They don't speak of like they're more like kind of like held back. But Americans, we say what we want. They're more blunt about things. So they tell you when you're doing something wrong and stuff like that. It's not like Japanese people don't say that, but you see less of it. Japanese people don't say what they think in their mind. So they kind of hold themselves back, kind of it gets stressful for them. That's why there's a lot of people that's stressed out in Japan, I think. That doesn't mean like Americans are stressed out, but like that's like the difference in culture in a way.
Why do you think that they have that type of culture here in Japan?
I think because like hierarchy is the main thing.
Yeah, that's different.
If there's a leader, then you can't speak out towards the leader because they're above you. But I guess that's what makes them hold back. They can't say their own thoughts. They can't say right now I'm not sure, it might be changing a bit because they're a little strict on those laws and stuff, because like power harassment, sexual harassment, there are those things right now that's being like put into light, and then people are making like a big huge deal of it in Japan. So I think it's changing little by little, but hierarchy is the main thing, I think, that's holding Japanese people to state their own opinion in a way.
Deep topic, but what do you think about that building onto like mental health here in Japan?
Mental health?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, how they quite... Japanese people, they feel real restricted in what they can and can't say. So a lot of people hold a lot of emotions or hold what they want to say, whether it be in a family situation or a work situation or just something like sports as well. And it can kind of like build up a lot of stress, tension, which can really affect mental health here in Japan. But it's not a big topic talked about here in Japan because of that culture. So what do you think of mental health here in Japan in terms of that?
I think it's very I would think it's severe in a way, because I think Japan has the culture of a hermit. They call them hermits, but in Japanese we say utsubyo. So people who are hikikomori. So hikikomori means hermit. People who do not go outside.
Just stay in their homes.
Stand
yeah,
at
I remember
home.
hearing of this in
because
Japan.
They were in a way neglected by society, so they lost confidence, so they started to not go out. There are those kind of like how the strong always picks on the weak in Japan. So that's why I think there are a lot of like individuals, younger generation, even older generations as well, who loses confidence and just kind of shuts out and then become a hermit. Some become like mentally damaged to the point where they don't want to do anything. So that's, we call that utsubyo. Japan is very strong in the depression area, I think, because like when you're in a hierarchy system, a lot of like people who are higher than you who get stressed out, they tend to pick on the weak, and then they start to get mental damage and they get depressed and they don't go to work. Some people actually take their own life as well. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's because Japan is not like in America, you're expected to do things on your own because you have to be more individualized in a way. You pay your own bills, you work. You don't really rely on other people in a way. It doesn't mean like that's everyone, but there are certain points that you have to rely on others. But in Japan, it's different in that way because you move in a group, and if you're the outcast, then you kind of tend to be picked on a lot more. So that's why being different is not too encouraged in Japan. Yeah. I
think so too. I never really thought of that culture side of Japan until like nowadays, until recently, on how big of an impact that type of culture, because I don't disagree with the hierarchy culture, but I don't fully agree with it. Like, I think it's good to have that hierarchy in some ways, especially in our sports way. Like, you go through the years, you put in the time. Once you become a veteran, I think you do have that higher platform and that higher status than some of the juniors. But I think with that power that you have, I think it's up to that person and how they use it. So you can use it in a good way, or you can use it to put them down. And you can still be strong with what you say. Like, you can still discipline younger players or younger people or people below you in certain ways. And I think it's good because it can help make them grow. So that's why I do think that it's still good. I thought it was good and real important to keep that culture. Like, I'm a 6th year, I think, in my team now, and we get first years every year. And I still think first years still need to know their role. They still need to do certain jobs for the seniors. And once they can fulfill those and they get to the same platform or same status as I am, then they can pass that on. And I think those traditions are important to help kind of make them stronger, but not to a point of where you put them down. Like, I like it when I always like make a junior like carry my boots. Like, but at the end, the person that I always got most to carry, like when I retire, at the end of the year or at the retire, I'm gonna give them my boots so that they can see the moment of or feeling of having like, this is what like you can get to. Like when I was in my high school team, I remember first years we clean the grounds before a game. We clean the grounds, and I remember like seeing the seniors like playing around. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to like get to that point. But that discipline and those jobs help keep the traditions to make our team stronger. And I think it's important to always still hold those standards to the younger ones, but not to the point of like what you see nowadays in Japan, where it gets to the point where they're putting them down, trying to make them stay down. They kind of say it's like, oh, we're putting you down so that you're supposed to fix it yourself. But I think it's beyond those days where it's quite harder for young people to try fix that state of mind. So I think that hierarchy is important to have. Just the way that you use that power is real important.
Yeah, I agree. Like hierarchy, in some way, it is important to set rules and to set like, discipline.
Yeah.
To the generation. So like completely getting rid of hierarchy system I don't think it's the answer to all these power harassments, because like, there are limits to what you are supposed to do. Like, yeah, like you said, like if the seniors are keep on putting them down, putting the younger generations down, then they're not gonna grow and they're not gonna replace them in a way. So that's kind of defeating the purpose of like getting the next generation to be in your level or higher than that level right now. So it's a big problem. I think I'm not sure if it's just Japan though, but like a lot of country, I'm sure they have some sort of those kind of like hierarchy abuse in a way. So like that's the first thing I guess I didn't like about Japan, because of the hierarchy.
Yeah, I struggled with that too.
Yeah.
Like I hated it when, especially old people that I never even knew would just like think that from day one they could tell me what I could do. Because usually when someone tells me to do something, I like to do the opposite.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And especially when it's like, oh, go do that. You go do it yourself. So it's quite difficult to understand. And then I hate it when I see someone the same year as me, they go and do it. Like, why are you doing it? But there's good and bad to it. And it's their culture. It's like their tradition. It's what they've grown up to knowing. But I do see the importance of that person with that power. How they use it is very important.
Yeah, if you take the good side of it, then yeah, there are ways like grow a person through that method, but it's not for everyone, I think.
No, yeah. I do think times are changing.
Yeah, definitely.
I do think times are changing where it's like a lot more relaxed. It's not as much strict of that hierarchy. I'm not sure in the working world, but in the sports world, I do think it's a lot more relaxed now. Like you kind of have to earn your stripes no matter what year you are. You could have been in the team for 10 years just because you've done your time, but you might not have played one game. So you don't really kind of have that status of trying to tell the young person who might have played more games than you.
Well, like before I talk about my work, kind of like area that I've seen in sports world, if someone is very good at what they do, like position wise and stuff, wouldn't that person be like starting position in a way in the sporting world, because you guys are more towards technique rather than like hierarchy? Is that true or
nowadays I do think it is. At first it used to be like you put in the time and you have all right technique, that person is probably going to get more priority. And I do think building relationships within the team is also important. It's a team sport, so one person can't win. It's got to be all in rugby, all 15 players on the same page. But nowadays, I do think talent takes more priority over time. So that's something different compared to. Definitely nowadays, you see it now. Because there's some real good talent coming through, especially young kids. It's just raw talent. And I think the difference between having experience and talent, I think experience will always prove better than talent, because it's an 80-minute game, it's a 15-man game. When it comes down to like the nitty-gritty or the tough times, experience will always prevail over someone with better talent but less experience.
Like in the work world, it's a bit different. Like no matter how much of an it's no matter how much of an idiot you are, no matter how much experience or technique you have, or you don't have, you could still go up in the hierarchy because like of the Japanese system where, you know, you are guaranteed to be in that position after a certain year, regardless of if you made any progress or not. So I have met a couple people who I believe like, why are they above me? And many times in Japan when I was working, especially in the filming world, like it's a very strict world. Like you are expected, you have a job, you are expected to do it. But like, you know, in my case, luckily, like I was in a company where they kind of accepted my ability to grow faster. So I was able to become a director within like faster than a normal progress. Because in Japan, in order to become a director, you have to work as an assistant director, which is like more, it's different from the movie world, but assistant directors are very like, you know, at the bottom level. You have to work as an assistant director for like 5 years before becoming an actual director.
5 years?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, so like I thought that was ridiculous. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna work for 5 years as an assistant director. Like if I think I'm capable enough, then I will try to become a director. Like, and then that's what I did. So I saw an opportunity, and I asked the boss of my company, and then I said, let me be the director of this show. Let me try it. And then he let me try it. And then after that I became a director, basically. So I did have to become an assistant director, but I did that as I was doing director as well. So it was a bit different for me in my case. But a lot of people, like a lot of my juniors who are below me, they go through the progress that you're supposed to go through before becoming a director. So, but like in Japan, like because I became a director very quickly, a lot of directors who's above me kind of like, you know, kind of look down on me because I became a director too quickly. So that's like a difference, I guess. Like that's like a bit of like a thing that I felt very like looked down upon during that time because everyone expected me to go through the same progress, but I didn't go through it. So
is the film industry here quite a stressful?
It is very stressful. You hear a lot of people who quit after like half a month, even faster than that. People quit.
Yeah, because the film, well, not film as in movies, but like TV industry here, culture here is massive. Like you kind of see the same people on the TV all the time.
Yeah.
But the TV's always running, and you see like, especially comedians, drama actors, they're like massive stars over here. So it's quite a strict world, that whole film industry or TV industry.
Of course, it's very strict. Right now it changed a lot because of the laws changing. You can't work more than 100 hours each week. I think each month, maybe each month. You can't work you can't overtime more than 100 hours in Japan.
That's another interesting that I like about Japanese culture is their overtime system.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Like, it's compulsory to do overtime?
Yes, in a way.
You try telling someone in New Zealand that they have. Well, they do overtime, but like there's like a compulsory set amount of overtime. None of that.
They have a limit in overtime, but it doesn't matter. Like, that's why they call it black company.
100 hours, is that a month or?
It's a month, I think, because each week you have 40 hours you work 40 hours each week, right? Within the 5 days. If you work normally from 9 to 5, I think that's 40 hours roughly. So
100 hours. Oh no, that's max. So yes.
Yeah, so maximum is 100 hours. So within a month, it's 100 hours max, I think. Right now, that's how the law changed. It used to be more, way more than that.
Do the work industry like work you to that 100 hours of
more than that, and with no overtime pay?
That.
Like some company don't even pay you for overtime.
Stuff.
No, really.
My job now, I start at 8:45. I arrive there at 8:43. I finish at 12 at lunch. I leave at 11:59. I beep out at 12.
Like when you're in the filming industry, the TV industry in Japan, you have to be at the location before anyone else, an hour or 30 minutes before.
Is that overtime?
Obviously, yes. It's okay.
You say you're getting paid for that?
No.
Oh, wow.
You don't get paid for overtime.
You don't get paid for overtime?
No, depending on the company, you don't get paid for overtime. My company didn't pay for me for that.
Do that.
Like before the whole like situation where a lot of people were sleeping in and like working overtime, and like overtime was the reason why a lot of people committed suicide. Before that time, Japan's filming industry, the TV industry, working overtime was the norm. You went in, you never came home for a week. Those are the normal days. Right now, like when I went into the industry, like there were times I didn't go home for, like I was out work for 3 days, not going home, not even taking a shower as well. And I hated that. I actually had experienced that. Like, because like, no matter what day, what time, the director calls you, like what's going on, how's it, when can I get my hard drive to start editing videos, where are you, how is all the research coming along and stuff. They always contact you for that. So like no matter what, 24 hours, 24/7, you don't have any time for yourself, basically.
Who's setting those standards, expectations on the top directors? Is that the company or?
What do you mean, like standard?
So those top directors are like going down to the young ones, like get it here at this time, hurry up and do it for this long, work this extra amount of hours. Who's setting those standards? Is that
the directors are? Because like,
is anyone above them setting them standards though?
Because the above them are producers.
Oh,
they only look at the show. They don't do anything else. Like, so in my case, producers just overlook the whole show, and then to make sure that everything doesn't go over budget. That's what producers do. And yeah, they check the videos of what the director edited, but that's all they do.
Do you think the producers are putting too much high standards, which is why the directors are forcing younger people to do this extra amount of work, or?
Yes and no, because like producers, there are different types of producers. Mainly directors are the one that tells the assistant director to do this, do that, and all the things that they want. So if they want some certain material to edit in the video, they tell the assistant director to go get the material at the television station, because they have all the archives. So you go through the archives and you just get the shows and you go and then like pick it up and do stuff like that. But that's what it is. That's why the hierarchy system kind of like, forces you to go through that progress. So you kind of like, I think like working is another story in a way, but like going through the top, like getting into the subject of the hierarchy, everything like they tell you this, you do that, you have to do it. You can't, there's no reason for you to like refuse. you have to do it. That's what it is, basically. So, and that's why like a lot of people who went through that, some survived, some didn't, some disappear without a word. They don't call. They just disappear the next day. There are things like that.
Wow, that's a very deep insight into the working culture, especially in the film industry.
Yeah.
Another culture topic I want to talk about. This might be good in America, the drinking culture here.
Oh.
American drinking culture, Japanese drinking culture. There's New Zealand drinking culture and Japanese culture. What do you think was a big difference between the American one and the Japan one?
I don't know about the New Zealand one, but like in Japan and America, the age is different. Japan is 20. When you're 20, you could drink. But in America, it's 21.
Oh, New Zealand's 18.
Oh, really? Wow.
So once you hit 18, you're pretty much legal for everything but the casino.
Oh, what? Really?
Casinos, I think they're 20 or 21.
Oh,
Not too sure.
In America, 21. 21 is when you could drink and when you go to casino and stuff. But 18 is when you could smoke.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
New Zealand is 18 for pretty much everything.
Oh.
Smoking, drinking, and gambling is only 21 or 20, I think. But the drinking culture here in Japan is different to New Zealand's drinking culture.
How different?
New Zealand drinking culture is kind of good and bad. New Zealand drinking because you can start really young. And people like they can't wait till they turn 18 so they can drink legally. And you can't really go out drinking at like bars or restaurants and stuff like that because it's just too expensive. So you go to a bottle store, you buy like a box of like 24 drinks. You take it back to someone's house or meet up somewhere. You can't drink out in public in New Zealand, which is something different compared to Japan. But you just buy like a box, you take it back to a friend's house and you just drink there. You just drink at home. And then if you want to hit the nightclubs, then you have to find a sober driver because there's no trains, no buses. You have to find a sober driver to drive you to an area. And it's not as crazy, not as packed as Japan's nightlife. But that's how the whole system of like going out and getting a drink is. You can go to a restaurant or to a bar, but you'll only be having like a couple because it's just too expensive. And it's not mainly the restaurants or the bars are not really made for, compared to Japan where you can go to an izakaya and you can sit there for like 3 hours and just drink all the drinks you want, all the food you want for quite a cheap price. Like all you can drink or all you can eat. They don't offer that in New Zealand. Well, they might, but they don't really offer all you can eat or drink because if they do, every business will probably go out of business because everyone drinks and everyone eats a lot. So I quite like that in Japan, how you can go to an izakaya, chill with friends, and you can sit there for like 3 hours, drink a whole lot of alcohol, eat some good little side plates, some good little nibbles. You could be there for 2-3 hours just chatting, chilling, quite peaceful environment, and you'll only be paying like $50 or $40 per person. And then you can go out to like the nightclub, which is a little bit more expensive, but by the time you get there, you've already had a lot to drink, so you don't really need to go crazy while you're there. You're just there for the music or the dark lights, dancing or whatever you want. That's what I really like about Japanese culture. And Japanese people don't really drink much.
That's true, yeah.
Like they drink, but then they get drunk real easily, quite quickly.
Funny story. When I was still working for a filming company in Japan, so I went out drinking with a couple of my the assistant directors that I was good friends with, and I went to the pub, British pub, and then this guy was drunk, like very drunk, and then we were just drinking, and I was just looking at this guy who was just really drunk. So this girl was right next to me, like a couple seats next to me. And then this guy who was drunk comes up to her, kind of flirts on her. It's like, oh, how are you doing? It's like, what are you doing here? And then all of a sudden, he was very tipsy. So he pushed her drink into her bag. Right went to her bag, and she was like screaming. She's like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" And panicking and stuff. And she goes into her bag and she pulls out her laptop. I was like, "Oh my god, it got all over on her laptop." I'm looking, and this guy's like, because he's so tipsy, like he doesn't know what's going on and stuff. And the guy that she was with comes in, and then like asks what's going on, and this guy's like apologizing and stuff. I was like, wow, like these kind of like, small things happen in Japan, like when you're drunk and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lot. There's like an Instagram page called like Shibuya Meltdown. Have you seen that?
No, I've never seen it. But
So it's just like, so if you ever come to Japan, you're traveling, and just stick around to the last train or midnight or anything past midnight to 5 a.m. Walk the streets of Shibuya, walk the streets of Tokyo, downtown Osaka. I guarantee you'll find at least 10 people just sleeping on the street.
Oh.
People just laid out everywhere. Either passed out or they just missed their last train home. They're having a quick nap on the street. But I find that drinking culture of Japan, they can just openly just sleep out on the street. Like it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think it's crazy. Like if you sleep out on the streets in New Zealand, you might not wake up the next morning.
Yeah, or you might wake up without a wallet.
Without any clothes. And you see them, like they got their bag just hugging their bag on the street. Like they have that much trust in Japan that they can freely sleep on the street. I think that's a good thing of the culture, though. It's a good thing of Japan culture. Definitely something different, because I would never see people sleeping out on the streets in New Zealand so freely like that.
That's true.
But once they have a bit too much to drink, they're either spewing on the way home or spewing in the toilets or sleeping out on the streets. I think that's just something different.
Yeah. Have you ever been tipsy to the point where you kind of fell asleep in the streets?
Once. But I never drink to get to that point. But it was this one time. I was a lot skinnier. I lost like a whole bunch of weight in like a month.
Oh, really?
And I thought that I could still drink as much as I could in that 1 month. And I just remember I was gone. That's what taught me never to mix a whole bunch of different types of drinks on a night out. And in Japan, like they have the izakayas, which sell cheaper alcohol, but it is cheaper alcohol. So it's like a bit different compared to like pure whiskey
it's watered down.
Yeah. And so just like it feels easier to drink, and then you drink too much of it and then you're just gone. Yeah. But I have done that once. I remember I don't remember anything.
Have you ever blacked out before?
Like that was that one time.
Oh.
We were at a yakiniku place, and it was all you can drink. And it was so slow, so I was asking for it in pitchers, which are like big jugs. And I thought I was cool. So I started drinking from the jugs. And then they brought out like awamuri, which is like Japanese sake. It's the only reason why I don't drink Japanese sake anymore, because of that night.
Really?
I remember we had to finish it before we left. And I was over that place, so I was like, I'll just drink it. So I sculled it was like probably like a quarter of a bottle, but I just sculled it all in one go. 2 hours later, I just remember waking up in like this little hole, this little hole under a tree, and I was like, what the heck? It was hot as. It was like summer.
I was like, this is the season right now.
What the hell happened?
Yeah, like a lot of people, they want to drink during this hot season.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I remember trying to get up and I couldn't, so I just stayed there. Just stayed just like that.
I've had one time when I was drinking, I was tipsy to the point where I kind of almost blacked out. I never blacked out though. I never blacked out drinking ever in my life. But that one time I kind of almost did, but I was so tipsy. I was walking back to my workplace, all tipsy and stuff, and then managed to get back without a problem. But that was that's an experience that I never want to experience ever again. That kind of feeling. So it was weird.
I think if you do get like drunk and a bit tipsy in Japan, I think it's a lot more safer
It is, yeah.
than if you were in another country.
Yeah, like when you're drunk, if you go into like a very dark alleyway, oh, you're gonna get jumped. But not in Japan.
No, yeah.
Yeah, Japan's that's safe.
Want some almond nuts?
I'm good. Gotta get your get your head rolling.
But I do think Japanese drinking cultures, I think it's good. I like it. I prefer to go out for a drink here in Japan than compared to New Zealand.
It's fun.
Yeah, I know the nightlife like in New Zealand, it's a bit dangerous right now because it's
really?
you start younger. You're 18, so you got like raw kids fresh out of high school that are like now they can start drinking legally. Now they can hit the clubs. It's a lot younger culture in New Zealand. Like if I'm 28 now, if I was to go to New Zealand nightclubs, like I'm an old man there. But like here in Japan, it's still quite like the average age.
All right. Yeah.
I think. Well, I hope. I'm not an old man yet going to the clubs. But I think a lot of older people do still go out here in Japan. And you don't have to you can't drink at home though. Well, you can, but unless you have a big house, but it's better to meet at like an izakaya or a little bar, restaurant or whatever, and it's more convenient to drink there. And then you can go out.
Yeah, it's very cheap. So.
Or you can eat and or you can drink menus. Those are crazy here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That was something that I really loved, especially that yakinikus. Or you can eat. That is awesome.
Yeah, it's not healthy, but it's good for
questionable. Pick your meats. Pick your meats wisely. We had a game yesterday. And we had all you can eat yakiniku on the way home.
Oh really?
For lunch.
For lunch?
For lunch. Well, because we finished at like 2.
Oh.
And it was still like lunch menu.
Okay.
All you can eat yakiniku. Very good. Very nice.
Yes, Japanese culture is very broad. There's a lot of difference.
A lot.
From American culture to Japanese culture, from New Zealand culture to Japanese culture. Very different. Our culture is different as well.
Yes, New Zealand culture and America, completely different, I think.
Yeah, it's very different.
Very different. There's not many... When you were in America, did you ever meet any New Zealanders?
No. To be honest, no, actually. That's weird. Yeah, never met New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand, like, it's not rare, but there's not many Americans in New Zealand.
Oh.
Well, I've never met, really.
I never met
Any?
New Zealand either. That's interesting. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a... When New Zealanders, like, travel overseas, they usually travel to, like, Europe or Australia for work. Not that that's a good thing. But just for work. Better opportunities in Australia. Work opportunities.
But yeah, cultures are very different. I guess it's a difficult thing to talk about, really, because it's like difference is actually there, but it's all like experience in a way. Like people's culture shock are different from other people. So like my culture shock was like my first culture shock itself was the trash can. So like how strict the trash laws were in Japan. That was my culture shock. So, but in yours case was what was it again?
The bidet.
The bidet.
The toilet.
The toilet.
I guarantee you, everyone will think of that.
And it is.
Like, do they have that in America?
No, they don't. That's
Yeah.
what, like yeah, definitely like bathrooms in Japan clean. Once you experience it, you cannot go back.
Even like public toilets. Most public toilets are very clean as well.
I beg to differ on that one.
Depending on what area you're in.
The men's are kind of,
True.
depending on the area. Like some toilets will still have that Japanese style toilet. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I hate those old ones when you see the hole in the ground. It's like,
I still can't go into public toilets. Like when I go into public toilets, that's my emergency. if I don't have to do it, then
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go in. Definitely not in the public toilets. Like, If I would rather go to convenience store toilet. Those toilets I could still trust because someone actually cleans it. But public toilets, not a lot of people clean it. So.
No, yeah, I don't really like public toilets either.
Yeah, so
Desperate times call desperate measures. But
yeah,
if I can prevent it, I will, because
yes.
I just think of too many things when you enter. I'm a clean freak, so.
Oh, are you?
I'm a massive clean freak.
Oh, really?
I just have there's so many, how many bums have sat on that toilet? Like, if you think about it, there's a lot of bums that sat on that toilet. I'm like, oof.
But did you know, toilets, the most cleanest part of the toilet is the seat. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It's actually the seat that's cleanest.
Where's the dirtiest thing?
The floor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I just don't even think about that.
I think
even when you push the buttons, it's like, ooh, how many fingers? They
yeah.
probably just put their hand somewhere else and they're pushing that.
What?
I'm like, I always pick somewhere where it might not, there's that one obvious spot. I never pick that spot. I never push it there.
But you gotta think about it. Japan, they actually have a sanitizer.
Yeah,
right next to it.
But when you push the sanitizer button,
just
how many
get the
fingers
paper
have you?
and then sanitize the paper itself.
Yeah, well, I do everything I'll punch it quickly, or I'll touch it with something else.
That doesn't make a difference. You're still touching it.
Not with my physical hand,
with your palm.
with I don't know, I might have my phone, even though it's not a good thing, but slap it on that. Just anything without my hands. That's how much of a clean freak I am.
Wow. Then, I'm surprised. You went to Thailand, right?
Yeah. Oh.
I'm surprised you were able to go there.
There for the culture. There for the experience.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The experience, if you're not going to embrace the cultural differences and the experience of every different culture, you're not going to enjoy it. It's going to be, you might not enjoy it, but you're going to learn it and you're going to experience something very different. Just like if you were to come to Japan, especially if you're coming from New Zealand or anywhere around the world, it's going to be different. No two countries are alike, so.
Yeah, that's true.
You're going to be shocked in a good way, and you might be shocked in a bad way. But that's half the reason why you travel. Half the reason why you experience a different culture, different country, is to learn those differences. I've been here 10 years now, and I still learn so many new different things. Last time we talked about that different language thing, and I'm still trying to get over it.
You're still trying to get over it?
Yeah, I thought I mastered the language, and I learned there's 100 others. I just don't want to learn it anymore. I'm over it.
Japan, there's a lot. You learn new things every day.
Yeah.
Regardless of language or not,
yes.
You learn new things every day.
Do learn new things, but sometimes I want it to come slowly. Not all in one podcast.
Yeah, that's what
not
it is.
All in one episode.
Yes. But yes, anyways, culture is very different. Obviously, Japanese culture is, I guess it's still a bit, it's unique in Japan, but I feel like it's still very late in a way compared to the country.
Yeah, I do think Japan they've always been big on tradition. They always have kept their traditions from ancient times. Even when you see the shrines, they've been there for thousands of years in that good condition because they always preserve their culture and their tradition, and which is something that I really love about Japan. But there are some other things that they've preserved in terms of working culture or drinking culture that are good and are bad. But I think that's something unique to Japanese cultures, that they can preserve their traditions and culture.
Yeah, definitely. So I wouldn't say come and experience the environment in that sense. It's something that you don't really need to go through in a way. If you want to live in this country, yes, you're gonna go through it, whether you like it or not. So, but anyways, I hope this was a very good insight for you guys. If you liked what you saw, if you liked what you listened to, please hit that subscribe and like button, and to see more content like these. If you have any last word, Jayden.
Yes, thank you to everyone for tuning in again. We're gonna love and leave you.
That's
me. I'm out.